Yeah, welcome back to another episode of the Knowledge Drop by Focus of the Flow crew. Hope everybody's doing good today. And let's do this. This time we'll address another problem that we have in the scene that we had for a long time, the terminology. Our terminology is not synchronized. Different countries have a whole different set of names for moves. In France they called the 6-step pas for a long time. When I started in Finland we had a bunch of Finnish names for our moves as well. In a way that's totally understandable since our dance style is still pretty young, 40 plus years old. So this aspect pretty much comes down to the lack of education. But besides not being informed on the history of our dance, also a lot of our pioneers have a different view on even some of the basic moves. Here's a quick story from my point of view, a true story that is. I've been teaching the dance for around 20 years by now. The terminology is especially important in teaching. The names for moves and concepts give the students more structure and makes it easier to understand what the teacher is speaking about. With proper terminology, we share a common language with the teacher and the student. So my students have been happy on hearing the names and also the stories behind the moves as well. But while teaching basics, I ran into some troubles. Many times I got new students that got pretty confused because they had learned in a completely different way from somebody else first. So I observed all the teachers around me and I noticed that we're simply speaking about the same things, just using different words to describe them. This happened with CCs, the basic shuffling footwork in the fronts. To my experience, commonly known as the CCs worldwide, everywhere I've been to, I've heard the name being used. And I've been everywhere. Derived from the name Crazy Commanders, a legendary crew from the 70s New York, with b-boys like Spy and Shorty Rock, who contributed tons to our foundation. Pioneer number one. I won't call it CCs no more. To my knowledge, the original term is switches. Let's call it switches from now on. The original CC style is different, which I agree on, by the way. Pioneer number two. Focus, you got it all wrong. Stop teaching it as the CCs. The original term is salsa shuffles. Pioneer number three. I call it the kickouts. I always called it that. I didn't hear the name CCs until later, so I go with the terms I have always used. So as a student of the game and a teacher myself as well, this gets pretty damn confusing already. So I decided to go with what I believe was right. We do wish to cherish the original names as much as possible, and the creators must get credit for their creative work that they did in the past. And I think naming the moves after the creators is a great way of showing respect. But if the pioneers don't have a common view of the origins and the history and the names, then we as students must use our own brains and find a solution. And we have to start from somewhere. I think generally and globally used terms are great. If they're not based on lies but truth, they create a general understanding and a common language on both sides. Not in every case the first term is what sticks with the move. We don't generally call the windmill the continuous backspin. We acknowledge the original term, but we go with the global one. I think Crazy Legs, the creator of the windmill, is probably cool with this one as well. We don't call the air chair the cobra attacking the eagle just for practical reasons already. And I think Paul 1 is pretty cool with this one as well. So my advice to everybody willing to learn is to have an open mind to begin with. First of all, don't follow your teacher's vision and experience blindly. I challenge all of my students to question everything that I teach. Cross-reference. Ask the same questions from other teachers as well. If 2 or more stories add up, then most likely that's true. Every OG has a different experience coming up. Every borough in New York has a different kind of view. It's often the golden middle road that becomes your truth eventually. Listen to everybody's stories, make conclusions, and use some common sense. At some point, our scene has to come together and settle for widely used terminology and language. Come together and unite our terms. Otherwise, our teaching continues to be a mess and it can't be taken seriously. It's especially important once the dance gets documented better for the next generations. Making the B-Boy and B-Girl Dojo's curriculum, a big challenge was to look at all the different views and perspectives and come up with a common view that made sense. I think we did pretty good and it's there for the generations to come now. So keep studying, learn everybody's perspectives and come up with your conclusions based on your personal research. That will make you become the best artist you can be with the deepest possible understanding. And that's it for today's Knowledge Drop. Sign up to my free course in the link below and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.